The Five Nights at Freddy's universe is full of terrifying animatronics, sinister backstories, and haunted relics of the past. But among the many horrors lurking in the dark, none are as mysterious as the Shadow Animatronics. Unlike their more aggressive counterparts, these ghostly figures do not attack the player. Instead, they appear and vanish, phasing through the walls of Freddy Fazbear's establishments, existing outside the normal rules of animatronic behaviour. Who or what are these eerie entities, and why do they seem so connected to the tragedy at the heart of the FNAF storyline? The Shadow Animatronics first appeared in FNAF 2, released in 2014. They were introduced as extremely rare, almost exquisite figures that could randomly manifest within the game. Shadow Bonnie, a black, ghostly version of Toy Bonnie that can sometimes be seen sitting in the player's office. When encountered, it crashes the game, hinting at its supernatural nature. And Shadow Freddy, a deep purple, shadowy version of Golden Freddy that appears in the parts and service room. If the player stares at him for too long, the game glitches. Neither of these figures directly harm the player in the way typical animatronics do. Instead, they serve as eerie remnants, existing in the background like echoes of something long forgotten. Their presence expands beyond FNAF 2 as well. In FNAF 3, Shadow Freddy takes on a more active role in the game's minigames, where he lures animatronics into the back room to be dismantled by William Afton. Shadow Bonnie also plays a role in FNAF 3, especially the minigames, appearing in a glitchy, almost digital form. Over the years, the Shadows have continued to make subtle appearances in games like FNAF 4 Ultimate Custom Night and FNAF AR Special Delivery, reinforcing the idea that they are more than just forgotten side characters. They are an integral part of the larger mystery. The origins of the Shadow Animatronics have been debated for years, and several theories attempt to explain their purpose. One of the most widely accepted explanations for the Shadows is that they are manifestations of agony, a concept introduced in the FNAF novels, The Fourth Closet. According to this theory, agony is an extremely powerful force generated by intense suffering, capable of creating supernatural entities. This theory is supported by FNAF AR Special Delivery, where Shadow Bonnie is summoned when the player collects too much Dark Remnant, a substance associated with agony. This suggests that Shadow Bonnie and Shadow Freddy could be lingering spectres formed from the trauma of the many children who died at Freddy Fazbear's establishments. The FNAF Ultimate Guidebook further supports this, stating that the Shadow Animatronics are trying to help the souls of the children move on. If true, this would mean that Shadow Freddy leading animatronics to their destruction in FNAF 3 was not an act of malice, but a means of freeing their trapped spirits. Another common theory proposes that the Shadows are the spirits of the children killed in the infamous Missing Children's incident. This tragic event, where 5 children were murdered by William Afton and stuffed into animatronic suits, serves as the backbone of the FNAF lore. Shadow Freddy is believed to be connected to the original set of animatronics, Golden Freddy's model, possibly representing a child from the first murder spree. Shadow Bonnie also seems to resemble the newer Toy Bonnie, which aligns with the later disappearances at the Freddy's locations. This theory suggests that the Shadow Animatronics exist as fragmented spirits of these victims, souls too tormented to pass on, but unable to interact with the world in the same way as the other possessed animatronics. Something even more unusual is the suggestion that the Shadows are ghosts of victims who were killed by spring-lock failures, a horrific way to die in the FNAF universe. This idea comes from FNAF 3, which mentions a mysterious sister location where multiple employees supposedly died due to malfunctioning spring-lock suits. This theory, known as the Shadow Employee Theory, suggests that these workers' souls were never able to rest. and they instead became wandering spirits manifesting as the shadows. The connection to the Springlock suits could explain why Shadow Freddy resembles Golden Freddy. Both suits were once used for these deadly Springlock performances. In FNAF 3, Shadow Freddy leads the animatronics into the back room, where they are dismantled by Afton. While this might seem sinister, the Ultimate Guide suggests that this was an act not of malice, but of helping the spirits of the children trapped within the animatronics. By breaking apart the suits, the souls inside were freed, something that ultimately led to Afton's downfall. Shadow Bonnie's appearance in FNAF AR reveals that it is deeply connected to Dark Remnant and Agony. It can only be banished by using Light Remnant, suggesting that it feeds on suffering and is bound to it in some way. This aligns with the theory that the shadows exist because of the pain caused by Afton's murders. Both Shadow Animatronics play indirect roles in the greater story. Their presence in minigames and secret appearances in the other FNAF games hint that they are not villains, but rather lost spirits seeking release. Their influence may have contributed to William Afton's ultimate transformation into Springtrap, forcing him to face the consequences of his actions. The Shadow Animatronics are not just another creepy addition to the FNAF world. They serve a greater purpose in the lore. Whether they are remnants of agony, ghosts of murdered children, or vengeful spirits of dead employees, their existence ties directly to the game's central themes, the lingering effects of trauma and suffering. Their appearances in the series suggest that they may have been trying to help the victims of Fazbear Entertainment find peace. By leading the animatronics to their destruction, disrupting the game world, or simply appearing as eerie reminders of past tragedies, they reinforce the idea that some things are too powerful to be forgotten. The Shadow Animatronics remain some of the most puzzling figures in Five Nights at Freddy's. Their appearances are rare, their motives unclear, but their presence is undeniable. Whether they are vengeful spirits, remnant of agony, or simply ghosts lost in the void, one thing is certain: they are deeply tied to the game's core mystery. The shadows remind us that in the world of FNAF, not all hauntings are as simple as they seem. Some ghosts linger not to kill, but to whisper, to guide, and to watch from the darkness, forever bound to the horror they were born from.